Signed it to me. She said not till April.
How nice. Right, but is it just a box? Oh,
No, maybe.
huh?
Maybe a little bit more than that. I gotta
Oh.
see. I'm trying to empty out my cellar.
Okay.
I can put it aside.
Huh.
We're live?
Mhm.
Hey. Patrick, you there?
I am here and
Okay.
I am here and I have a new camera and I don't know how to make it work. So sorry. And there's nobody here to help me. So yeah, if you want to open the meeting, that's fine. And I'm taking minutes and I'll first ask for a roll call.
Okay, let's call the meeting then at 7:04. I am here. I am Claire.
I'll tell you what I see. I see Jean, Kiri, Ethan. I think that's Jenna.
Jenna's here.
And then I
And
see Claire and I
And
see Deanne.
Amy.
And Annie's here too.
Annie's here.
And I know, okay, hang on. And I know I see Janine, and Ted, and it looks like we have a visitor, another visitor.
It's me. I'm Allison.
Oh, hi, Allison.
Hi. Yeah, I can't change my name on my phone for some reason. So
No worries. Nice to hear your voice.
You too. And I just lost the agenda. Yes, but we have no other public, so there's no public comment. We need to approve the meetings, or the minutes of the October meeting. There's a little formatting glitchiness and
Yeah.
a couple of spaces here and there, but I didn't see anything that seemed awry. Yeah, so did anyone else see anything in the minutes? So can we, with
So long.
He's on a special chair.
You're on the throne over there.
yes, he is. Um,
I'll make a motion to
Thank you.
approve the minutes from our last meeting.
And
October
also
21.
2024. No,
Yeah,
no,
not
we got
20.
it corrected. Sorry about that.
Past 2024.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. It's my turn to payment of the bills. There was a final cap in the last iteration of the board packet. Did anyone have any questions of Ted? Ted, do you have anything you
Yes,
need to say?
I would like to call your attention to the box that is outlined on that sheet. On my copy, it's down towards the bottom. It says ACH.
Yes.
Okay. Deanne, you want to fill us in, please?
So we've arranged with Amazon Business to be able to pay our invoices with them through ACH. So it's they're invoicing us, and I believe it's 30 days. This is like the first experiment that I did with that. So that's what this payment is. So going forward, our Amazon bills will be invoiced. We will vote, you will vote on them, and then we will pay them via ACH transfer. So because this will alleviate the problem that we had 3 years ago, or whatever it was, when they misapplied a check and it was terrible. So this will be a better way to pay the invoices, and it'll be easier for Ted and me to figure out the categories that go to because it won't be all on the credit card. So it'll be easier to categorize all our spending there.
Okay.
So that's what that is.
That's great.
So there's no check number. It's just an ACH transaction. Okay. it's so common nowadays to pay this way. I mean, like, I do it regularly, so like it makes sense that this would work.
We did not receive a bill for the landscaping yet, correct?
I
Correct.
have not seen Bill.
I ran into Thayer. He said, I hope everybody got to see that. Well, I'll do it now. I hope everybody saw it.
It looks
It looks
nice.
great.
It really does.
You get a chance to see it.
It looks great.
Okay, good. I did notice the lights weren't working on the sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that when I pulled it,
Yeah.
so I can see if I can adjust them.
Okay.
Thayer said she went a little bit over the bid, so expect to see that. We'll have to reapprove that when the bill comes. He didn't say, but he said it wasn't much, so.
Great. I'm glad that got done. I have no stump. That also happened while I was away.
Was she gonna submit the bill directly to Thayer?
Per Ted's request, she was submitting 2 separate bills.
Right.
One to the beautification committee and one to the library. I believe she's sending the library one directly to us, but. I could
Oh,
be
because
completely wrong.
usually what she does is she submits the bills to Thayer and then Thayer brings them out to the town, but so I'm going out tomorrow to sign off on bills. I'll check and see if it's there.
Okay.
Anything else, Ted?
That's
I
it.
saw there were some transfers, reverse transfers or something.
Yeah, they're changing money for the grants back and forth.
Okay,
No, it's just
it's just
a way to go.
moving stuff back and forth. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Okay, looks good. Okay, so we need to approve the cap.
I'll make a motion to approve cap 251118F. The final total of which is $29,764.37.
I'll second it.
Gary seconding and all in favor.
Bye.
We need to also approve the reports.
Sorry, could you just say the number again? I always want to make sure I'm looking at the right. Is it 29,764.37?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any questions on anything else? Can we just go ahead and make that motion to approve the financial reports?
I have a question.
You do.
On the Augustine grant 25, is that Kathleen Augustine?
Yes.
That was your question?
That was my question.
Okay.
Complicated question.
Motion to approve the financial report.
I'll second. Yay, Jenna.
Jenna
Jenna coming
seconded.
in strong.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you. I gotta go back up to financial reports. Anything else you wanna say?
Only
That we were, what?
bring up
I-
issue.
I'll mention that in a second. So, okay, if you have nothing else to say, Ted and I spoke yesterday. Georgia's working out well, but the reports aren't lining up exactly the same way that when Nelson did it, and she's having difficulty getting the old reports from Nelson. Is that right? Or I don't know. They're
She just hadn't, you set a monetary limit on Nelson.
Yeah, so
We-
we were gonna need a couple more hours of Nelson's time. And Ted and I discussed it last night, and I figure we want this to work out and get everything lined up so that the accountant who has to do the end of year reports can get the reports done. And if that requires a few more hours of Nelson's assistance to Georgia,
What was his hourly rate as a consultant?
is
$80 an hour.
$80? 80 an hour.
And how many more hours do we think we need?
Ted and I were talking, and I think it's like 3 or 4 more hours, you know, if we can just get them to talk to each other and sit down. Hopefully they can figure out what's missing.
Why don't we just say up to like 10, like to $800 is 10 hours. That's probably egregiously too much,
Right, I was
but then
gonna
we don't have to
say,
come back.
I was gonna say $300, but you say more?
We don't have to tell him the amount. I mean, we just
Right.
approve it internally,
Yeah.
the amount, so.
Just so it's, you know,
So we're not.
it's seamless. Yeah, and if she has questions 3 months from now and happens to have an hour,
Right.
so be it, you know.
Ted?
Thoughts?
I think it's way high, but if that's the way you want to work it,
I heard two different things. I heard 800, I heard 1,000, I heard 300. Why don't, and I'm not sure where we are. Why don't we say 500, up to 500? And are we, do
Need
we
to
think,
make it a divisible of 80. Right?
Does 400 or
400. Yeah, I feel like that makes sense.
And if they have to come back.
if we have to come back? So that's 5 hours, 400. So let's say we'll approve up to $400 in additional payment to Nelson to figure out the kinks in the system and get Georgia where she needs to be.
do you want a formal, what's the word again?
Motion.
Motion. Do you want me to make a
Yeah.
motion to that?
Yes, that'd be lovely.
I move that we approve up to $400 to Nelson to help him assist Georgia in transferring his responsibilities to her.
Okay, can we get a second?
I'll second it.
Curie seconds, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. As a presidential report, we passed the 414. Yay.
Hooray.
And put that on the, and there was something else I was going to say, and because that's the kind of day I'm having. It'll come up in another year. But yeah, I'm excited. I feel like it's a great place we've gotten ourselves to. I'm not sure it's, quite all the way there, but I think it's a good next step. Oh, I know this is what I was gonna say. Right before I left, I asked Deanne, I'm just sharing this with the board. I asked Deanne to kind of think about the stress points that we have with the space upstairs. And given that the town board composition will be different next year, and we don't know how different it'll be yet.
Yeah,
Oh, we do
I
know?
mean,
We do.
It's over?
it's over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
but
do.
the board- What?
It's
Sorry, I've been
over.
away. I've been
So-
away.
It just happened. It just
Yeah,
Okay,
so
I
Brian won
Okay,
by a very
By
small
5
margin. It was hand counted today.
okay,
But
okay. The
we do
board
have- we do
composition
have
is still
4
changing.
right, but the 4 board members are, we have 2 new board members, Trevor and Murphy, and then of course it's Kevin and myself.
Right. And in that with the new board structure, whether or not we can solve some of the sticking points with the calendar, with the use of the library's use of the space when it is unoccupied by a rentor, or et cetera. So I've asked Deanne to kind of think about how to verbalize some of the problems so that we can go in at some point at the beginning of next year and have a conversation with people about how better to use that space. Who's really, like,
Yeah,
do we
I
have to
think
fight so
I think
hard?
that's a great idea, and I think that it would be best to at least hand me something in advance or discuss it with me, and then
Absolutely.
I'll talk to the other town board members in advance of you guys coming in with that information so that we can be ready.
Okay, that's great.
And
Okay.
can I ask
Yeah.
something? So can we also, Deanne, can you, and you may already know this, and if you don't, can you find out? Can you just understand what happens with those other two rooms up there? So, well, the town owns the building, so the town should be able to tell you who has the rights to those rooms, because those are additional spaces that could be used, one of which is quite large, and would be good for children because it's carpeted in there.
We need tutoring space too. We've got a
So-
lot, we're running out of space. We've got people who
Okay,
can't.
so let's
yeah.
just find out what the different, when we go back to them, let's just understand what the three different spaces are and how we could potentially access the additional space, the other spaces.
Right.
Good idea.
I think that's that's, I mean, the conversation I had with Jan was literally like the last thing I said before I left, but,
May I make a suggestion?
yes.
So I think it all sounds great. One of the things that I bet would help the board, is it the town board, is if we can enumerate the problems that you mentioned, you asked Deanne to look at, but I think if we can give them our proposed
Solution.
solution to each
Yeah,
of those
yeah,
problems.
Yes.
That's always my advice to people here at work. Problem plus proposed solution, and they can say no, or we can negotiate, but let's do as much of their work for them as we can.
Yeah, that's why I think we need to understand what the
With the use of
with the use
everything
of all of the
is.
different spaces are. And I think also if we were able, and this is for Janine, and I know this is not the first time that you've heard someone say this, but if there were an online calendaring situation, because it is, I don't
That we
know,
could all look
almost
at.
2026. We're a quarter of the way into the 21st century.
Right.
If we could have an online calendaring system for a community room, I think that would be helpful.
And it would be good, not just for the library to know when
everyone.
the space is, but for someone who needs a room to rent and would like to know whether it's available.
Right.
They
They're
could just
deciding
check
to
it out,
weekends.
but yeah.
And
Yeah. And if it was something that was added to the website, it would be convenient for everyone.
Yes.
And am I correct that it was a campaign hope of both the people who were running for town supervisor was to improve the website? So if I'm correct that it was a campaign, I won't say promise, but a campaign hope from both of those guys, and Brian won, this would comport with his hope to improve the town website and maybe include an online calendaring system.
I'm not, so I am sure that it was a campaign point for Kevin, and I'm unclear as to whether it was for Brian. Where did you hear that in the campaign, Patrick?
In my head?
Okay,
No, Patrick, I feel like I heard that as well when they did their meetings actually upstairs in the library.
Yeah,
I feel
They
like in the
both touched on it.
conversation, in the
do you mean meet the
conversation-
candidates?
And then meet the candidates. Yeah.
He said he
No.
had written
No.
a blog post, is what he said.
Oh, and asked
okay.
for,
And
he
said
asked for
was He was
commentary.
dressing up the town, which I'm not going to go too far off on a tangent here, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure I would give Brian the credit for dressing up the town. I might give it to the board member who's actually sitting on this call with us.
So it's part of a greater conversation about the community room, but we have to input our
Yes,
Right.
we should,
2 cents.
exactly.
This-
But Patrick's completely right.
Yeah.
A proposed solution that might work for everyone.
Yeah, and if you clearly outline your needs and how those spaces would serve those needs, that would be helpful.
Our pleasure.
Okay,
Good thought, Colin.
what?
Good thought.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of all I've got left rattling around in my brain. So end of president's report. Jean, do you have anything to say? Oh, there was an email from the Mid Hudson Library that was talking about grant for the Friends organizations,
Oh,
500 or $1,000 grants. It showed up in my email today, or an email I saw today.
Hudson?
Yeah, from the Mid Hudson Library System. At the very bottom, it was talking about grant opportunities. I was gonna mention it to you before I forget it again. But we'd figure out a way to get Deanne to help write a grant if it's little.
we used to get lots of grants, the Friends. Not that anyone's left to do anything.
Well, let's
Um,
see
okay,
them coming.
yeah, I don't know. I usually get stuff from Mid Hudson, so I don't know. I saw that they needed knitting needles.
Yeah, it was in the same email. It was just further down.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I don't really have anything to offer, to say. We're having our meeting tomorrow because, the first 2 Tuesdays, one was Veterans Day and one was also no school voting day, I guess.
Yeah.
So, there were no meetings on those 2 dates, and today I was just gonna be getting home last night. So we made it Wednesday. So, and I saw in the minutes that Deanne mentioned that we had the Ag Fair book sale and
Mhm.
we sold quite a few books, which is the goal, more than the money you get for them.
Great.
There were a few like homeschoolers that bought
Mhm.
like,
Oh,
Wow, that's
you
great.
know, and they get a lot of books for a very little amount of money, really.
Mhm.
So, yeah, and Deanne was there, which was fun,
It was
wasn't it,
fun.
Deanne?
Hey, Jean, could I take this opportunity to ask you to remind us all who the individual members of the Friends are currently?
Yeah, Pat Nanetti is the president. Vivian Sukenick is the vice president. Lois Lenahan is the secretary. I'm the treasurer. And Vicky Labruto is a director. That's all we have.
Thank you.
So, as I said, I was gone most of the month, so we didn't do anything more this month.
well, we look forward to hearing more next.
Oh, we were gonna get the books, the
award winners.
award winners. So Deanna's gonna order those.
Okay, Deanne, you're up.
Okay, let's go start with grants. The Friends gave us $1,000 for a hospitality grant, so that will help fund
Thank you.
all the food that I feed to
Thank
all our
you.
groups when they come here. Just thank you so much for that. We also received the Hover Foundation grant. I said that out. I was just disappointed in the grant writing people, but so that's why I sent that out, because they did give us that name, but it was just easier for me to write the grant than to have them do it. So all that paperwork has been sent in and we've started spending the money. So
Great.
Have we sorry to interrupt you.
No, I don't, we
Have
have,
we broken up with them?
no, I thought about it today when I was driving back over here. We need to break up with them. Maybe we could do that next week. I know, you don't want, do you want me to just email them?
yeah,
All right, I'll do
please.
that.
So the Youth Development Program grant, they are learning and as we are of how to submit invoices and things like that. But we've started, have we done that yet? We started doing that as well as the U grant. So the U grant, we've posted that first large, I've spent about half the money, not quite half the money.
Great.
But that reimbursement request has been sent in. I do not know how long it's going to take. So, but it's been sent in. Thank you for letting us increase the credit limit on the card because I'm going to be ordering chairs from that.
Great.
And then I will be able to get them on sale. Let's see, our small library, rural library, I'm still waiting on the door. The door people are still waiting on a part. It was supposed to be in last month and I need to check what's going on.
And these are the people that Brian asked us to use?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but I don't know what to say other than there's a part missing and they will install it when it comes. Nobody's having much luck with door companies. Red Hook's
Okay.
not having luck. They're having other problems, but we're having a part problem. But he responds really quickly when I email him and ask him how it's
To
going.
tell you that the part's not
Yeah.
in.
I've also tried to get the bottom shelves, the cantilevered, and the part that I ordered that I thought was right was wrong from Demco. So we're working to try to figure out what our shelves are and what part they need. So
Okay.
that will, I'm glad I just ordered one. Let's see. So I will have the U grant. I would like, if y'all wouldn't see Ethan and Jenna, the furniture, some of the furniture that we bought for that room. I'm still ordering chairs for this, but it's come in and we need to install it. So.
Keep seeing the pallets and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy, they're busy.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
It's
they
great.
couldn't, I actually paid for extra for them to bring the stuff in and they couldn't because they couldn't get the boxes around the ramp because it was too, so we had to disassemble them and bring them in.
Thank you.
Anyway, let's see, any other questions on grants?
Good job.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. This is great.
I'm excited. Okay, so we had a Directors Association meeting on last Thursday. There's a long report. I'd be happy to send it to you if you'd like, but we are, the upshot is that the state of New York, all the library systems are working together to try to address the outrageous pricing for e-materials. So for right now, we have good contracts for print materials at 40% discount. We have no discounts or anything for e-materials.
Mhm.
And so they're trying to replicate something similar for e-materials. It's having to be a statewide process and they're going at it very, very shrewdly. So I'm confident something will happen.
So this recommendation of the 10%, I'm reading ahead. I
Yeah,
apologize.
that is,
Are we spending 10% or are we not spending 10%?
oh, no, that's to increase your e-budget 10% per year. So whatever
okay.
whatever we have
So
budgeted,
next year we would do.
every year you just increase
110%.
10%. You just increase
Okay.
it 10%. So if we're spending 6,000, then we'll, each year we'll go up 10% from that.
Does that realistically coincide with our usage here for us?
No, our usage is more for ebooks and audiobooks than it is for the regular books.
So their logic on the 10% was that's a nice universal
Yeah.
number
Yeah.
for all the different. Okay.
Different libraries are all, every library is different, but if you're budgeting a certain amount for e-materials and budgeting some certain amount for print, just make sure your e-material budget increases because the whole system relies on everybody sharing their e-materials
Right.
within the consortium.
Which I believe you said from a meeting a couple months ago that we got complimented on that.
We're fine.
That
That's
we're
why I
doing
was on that
very well.
committee. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I was on that panel. We
Great.
were because
But there are libraries that are lagging.
Don't pull their own.
Yeah.
definitely, and
They're
they,
not pulling their weight with any kinds of material. I don't
but they're receiving a loader this year. Yeah, they've been pushed along, but they will be receiving a letter that they are not pulling their weight.
Names.
Mhm. I don't
I
know.
could probably,
No.
having
No.
seen all the libraries, I could.
But it's
probably
nice to
tell
know that
you.
we're doing,
We-
young library, we are.
We
We're
are.
doing very well.
We are very much pulling our weight. They also are not going to, I found out we are definitely not losing a delivery day. So they are keeping the
That
same
is
contract,
wonderful.
the same delivery days I think for 3 years at this point, they kept the same contractor. So everything's going to be fine. It will remain the same unless something drastic happens. Let's see. Oh, yes. let me go back to the U grant. If I need to go over the 15,000, I need your permission to do that because I've gotten to a point where if I get 4 chairs, I'm still deciding if I want 4 chairs and the shelving, I will go over. And I want to go over, I need to spend that money for sure, all of it. But if I need to go over, can I go over?
So what's the amount that you're thinking would potentially?
$100. I'm keeping it within, like, give me $250 to add something and that will give me a nice cushion.
Why don't we pre-approve 500 out of the lodge account?
Big spender over there.
I think this is you on no sleep for 60 hours. This is good.
Punchy.
$100,000, who cares?
No, I need a cushion so that in case,
Yeah, I think that Ethan's correct. I would say that 500, if you need to, like, it's worth it to make more shelves available to be used better to make, you know, the furniture happen. Let's do that. And if the lodge account seems to be the appropriate place to pull it from, let's say that.
it's that alcove over there that I'm trying to
Yeah.
tidy up because
Yeah.
I want to put the library of things there and I
Okay.
want to be able to store some things there. So I'm trying to look for a good solution for that. So
Yep.
that would be,
Sounds good.
okay.
So can you make the motion, Ethan? Or do you want somebody
For
else to
what?
make, to say that we're approving $500
Oh, yeah.
officially?
Second.
Yeah, I'll make the
Sounds like a
motion. Ted, what? You're looking confused.
Say the motion again, please.
In the event that Deanne needs a little extra money, we are pre-approving a use of $500 or up to $500 from the lodge account. I motioned it. Ethan seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
And,
Is
and
that-
the specific purpose is furniture?
Furniture.
To
Yeah.
extend.
Supplements the U grant,
To
yeah.
continue-
To supplement the U grant.
And I'm sorry, I should have said that earlier. My notes are.
Yeah,
Good to know.
that's okay.
Okay,
Oh, it's furniture and it's the
The shelving,
shelves.
yeah.
or just furniture in case, yeah, it shouldn't be the chairs, it's just the shelving. Okay, any other questions on that?
It's the Ted, you look confused for a second. It's that, just in case.
But I got that. But you're saying 1 minute, it's only for furniture. But when Deanne talked, it was furniture and shelving.
Well, shelving, I would
Inserts.
consider furniture. I mean, it's to extend the products that we're buying for the U grant. So it's organizational furniture. So that's what we're calling it at the grant.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, so the other issue at Mid Hudson is Baker and Taylor is pretty much out of business, although I'm taking advantage of their 50% off sale right now because they're actually sending books. I can't,
They're
it's really
books we
weird, but they
want?
are sending them.
Okay, must have been sitting in a box.
No, actually, you have to dig through what their contents are, and if they have them in stock, they'll sell it to you 50% off, so they don't have a whole lot, but I'm getting some areas. But anyway, they are helping us, other libraries, transition to Ingram. Amazon's coming up with, has hired a lot of Baker and Taylor people, so they're, actually ramping up their book selling again and, helping us with MARC records and things, so I'm getting set up with all those and getting training. Our Ingram order did come in, it took a month, a little over a month, but it did come in, so
Some of it's even come in earlier
Yeah.
than we've ever gotten something. We
Yeah.
couldn't even release them immediately, which was novel and fun.
yeah, their pre-releases actually showed up, so it was the other books that took a little bit longer. So that's working out. I'm learning the in and outs of their our contract with them because that's a little bit different than Baker, but Baker and Taylor, but we're learning. So we will, as soon as, but I've spent most of our money on budgeted for books this year, so I will ramp up for next year and get ready for that. With Baker and Taylor's demise, our annual report software also kicked the bucket. So we are trying, Mid Hudson's working with the DLD to see if apparently there's another vendor that they're going to hire, but we have no idea what that's going to do for annual report. We will be using some software for the annual report, just don't know what. But we have all our statistics. Annie's been doing a great job of keeping all our statistics. We,
Like the visuals of the line with the
They are
multicolor.
helpful? Okay.
yeah,
It's
we're
helpful
working.
for me,
Yeah, we're working to, all of the reports next year, she's converting them so that it will be easier for us to produce them on a monthly basis instead of a yearly basis. So we will have those charts included in next year's, starting in January. But we're also getting, we're converting with that guy who had his report that he could do his report in 2 hours to match that particular, so anyway,
Yeah, his was overly complicated,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think we've trimmed it down so we can just make it look like this.
And my recollection is that every year they ask for slightly different information, so there's always one thing you have to
Yeah, we have
spend time on.
2 versions of our statistics spreadsheets, one that's more robust and one that's just the basics. And hopefully they just need the basics, but if not, we have the other stuff they need.
but it will be interesting to see what they ask for because it's different every year. Let's see. Anything else? Y'all have any questions on those? Okay, let's go with programs. Kids Club, we have hired a new Kids Club assistant. She started yesterday. Her name's Brianna. She's doing great. Cheyenne's been doing such a great job that I hired her to be the youth programmer because she's doing a great job. So I figured out a way to break out her Kids Club and Brianna's salary for the YDP grant so that we can bill her hours to that to them. We will be reimbursed for that. Next year in January we'll begin offering bus days for both schools. So we'll be doing 2 Wednesdays a month. The first Wednesday will be for Cold Spring and the second Wednesday will be for Seymour. Let's see, for teen board and kids board, we're gonna continue the teen board. We're gonna have it, we've actually been able to put on some of the programs that the teen board had recommended this year. But I'd also like to get a kids board, we'll call it something else, but for elementary kids to propose programs that they might like to see. We're gonna do that kind of within Kids Club, but it may be that we can have a separate entity as well. Because this county and a lot of grants like to have the input. Well, they like to have it driven by whoever's the audience is, whoever the program is for. Let's see, our programming, our usage of Kids Club is really is grown. We had a light day on Monday, but we had our instrument petting zoo, and I sent that picture of Miles on the keyboard.
I know, so cute.
And Lenny and Roger from Ruth's husband and Lenny Sullivan came and put a concert on for us. Lenny brought so many instruments and all the kids got to play with it, but there weren't a whole lot of kids that showed up yesterday. It was, but hopefully we'll be able to do something like that again because it was a lot of fun. Let's see, our strength and balance class, I'm starting to tape those so that we record those so that we can play them after Alicia's gone for 6 months or 5 months. We're supposed to have a financial literacy for teens program on December 6th, but I cannot get hold of the instructor, so I'm a little worried about that one. That one's to be determined, actually.
Who's the instructor?
She's from Primerica, and I'm not sure what's going on, but I haven't been able to reach her. But that's planned. The books are bought. Everything is ready to go. If need be, I can give it.
Because you had worked with her last year at some point?
No, she had proposed. She and I have met.
Okay.
I have had a series of meetings, and the books are nice. It's geared towards kids for teaching basics of financial literacy. The Wilderness First Aid was this past weekend. We had a full class of 10.
Yay.
It went well. We learned a lot.
Deanne, I heard really wonderful things about that. We offered it at work as professional development option, and we had one of our employees take it, and he loved it.
Oh, good.
And I will say, yeah, there were 3 other employees who would have done it if it was spread out because you had to be there for 8 hours Saturday and Sunday, and they didn't want to give up their weekend. But if you ever offered it again and you could split it up a little bit more, I know there would be a lot of people interested.
Okay, that is hard to do because the instructors come in from Massachusetts and all over the place, so that would be
Okay.
hard, but yeah, I could see where that would be. That would, yeah, it was a hard weekend, but it was a good learning experience.
No, a local instructor. But you-
Okay.
lives in Kingston.
For wilderness, okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, we have another online class coming up in December. I think it's December 6th. I should have put that date on there.
Eighth.
The 8th. It's an online, one of the online Zooms that we're doing as a library system, and registration's available if you, it's on our website. You can register for that. Looks really interesting.
What time is it?
It's at 6
Yep,
6 o'clock.
Is the financial literacy for teens on the weekend?
It's on a Saturday morning, I believe. Yeah. Yep. Trustee education, I need to do my sexual
Me
harassment
too.
training, and we all need to
pulled
do.
it
Up on my phone, so I forget.
And any other training needs to be done, but yeah, I need to take that as well. Get that up on there. So
You just send people individually what hours they do or do not have within the next.
sure, then we need to, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, I can't remember if I've sent you all my stuff or not.
Yeah, you sent me a lot. You're
Okay,
fine. You're
good.
way over 2 hours. All we need are 2 hours of,
There's the pre-recorded stuff, which you can take, but there's also one in person coming up in Beekman in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think I'm
Beginning of
scheduled to
September.
do that when they offered it a month ago.
Mhm.
2 months
Which
ago.
one is that?
What is it?
Doesn't matter.
It's in that email.
You know what? That email is too long. There's too much information in that email,
Yeah,
and
I agree.
so.
okay, for analytics, anybody have any questions? Our library visits are way up from even
Yeah.
years past.
Board development, recruitment, orientation, education, and evaluation. Thursday, December 4th, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Beekman Library.
What day of the week?
Thursday.
It's a Thursday.
So our circulation numbers are down a little bit because we've changed our policy of checking out books, or we don't let them hold on to sit on our shelves as long as.
Right, that's,
Okay.
I get both sides of why you used to do that and why you're not is fine, you know.
Yeah, so technically patrons are supposed to pick up their
Within a week.
request within a week. Many times they don't, and while we would rather hold on to it a little longer. The only way to do that without causing problems with the system is to check the item out to the patron. That creates some chain of custody problems. So for example, if something happens to a book while it's on our shelves,
You're
it's checked out to the patron, so they're in trouble for it. But it was while it was with us. There's also some patrons just don't come. You know, they say I'll be in on Wednesday. It's Saturday, it's still here.
Yeah,
And
that
I think,
sounds like someone I know.
Me too.
yeah, and frankly, it is against policy.
Right.
According to Mid-Hudson, you should only check out an item if the patron is
Who's
right in front of you.
present.
I think we're not the only library that's had some wiggle room, but frankly, even when we do this, we get complaints from patrons saying, hey, why is this book checked out to me? I didn't come get it.
Mhm.
So I think this is just, well, not how I would want to approach it. I think it is just simplest for staff. We do give a warning when we can. We call them and say, hey, this does need.
I think that's the best, way to do it, is that if it's people behaving, non-appropriately, then the only way to teach people that they gotta pick their books up quickly is to punish them.
There are
Put
some
them back to
libraries.
the end of it.
Yeah, there are some libraries that will add a manual fee for not picking up your items on time.
Wow.
We've
Ooh.
erred on the side of not doing that. We would prefer not to. But it is something I think we keep in the back of our minds for if this does continue to
You have
be a problem.
recidivists?
It's like 10 cents per item. It's not a big thing, but we run out of space. And if somebody has
Yeah.
12 books, what
Yeah.
am I gonna do?
So it's a big big problem that people don't pick up their book?
Yeah,
It
it's
can be.
very.
And then it's just managing,
Yeah, now we've. got
manage
this-
it, you know, like as the books are sitting there, they have different dates that they need to come off and, you know,
Yeah.
I could imagine it.
Yeah.
I used to do this, so I get it.
Yeah, it's especially also not fair especially if there's a line, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This other person should get it and we don't want to deprive someone
Yeah.
of something they should have.
The other thing I wanted to share with you is on Pine Plain card holders. There is a movement within the system to to make sure that everyone is assigned to their tax paying library. So it's called a P type. It's not your home library, it's your P type. That's the place where you're attached to for taxing
Mhm.
purposes. Some people are taxable in-
Library spaces.
Right. Or some people are in Red Hook and they go to here and their P type is there, but they pick up their home libraries here, which is
Yeah.
fine. But there's some places in like Milan that has no taxing base. There's parts of Claremont, I live in one, that is not associated with a library. So what the system is trying to do is to make sure that we have data to show townships that we have this many people.
So if someone doesn't have a P type,
We're creating a P type for them. I think we used one for here. Did we create one?
We can't do it.
Yeah, that's right.
so Mid-Hudson is creating something that says they
This-
don't have any tax.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's a Mylan thing or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Milan, Ancrumdale, Elizaville, these are all places that technically belong to multiple. Like you can have an
Right.
Elizaville and you belong to Pine Plains. You can be Elizaville, you belong to Livingston. And even with some of the tools they've given us, it doesn't tell us who they belong to in terms of taxing. They say,
Right.
oh, you belong to the town sometimes of Ancrumdale. Yeah, well, that's not helpful because that does not exist in the system.
So, but for we could possibly in the future go to those townships and say, this many of your patrons or your citizens go to our library. Would you mind contributing to the library in some sort? That's
Mhm.
one thing they're trying to say. And a lot of libraries are trying to split up if they're in overlapping areas. They're trying to figure out who belongs where because people are using Hoopla, people are using their ebooks. and
Costing
things
you
like that.
money.
They cost money. Yeah, they cost.
Is there a way to break down that information? Is Mid-Hudson separate? Because like for us, it's a unique circumstance that we have multiple different towns. So when you go to the town of Milan, say, and you just have a general overview of people who are not within the P type of Pine Plains Library, that could include Gallatin residents or other. So are they breaking it down further by municipality? Or is that something that has to be manually done by us?
So Gallatin is probably the trickiest, along with Elizaville, where the way the system works is there are actually 3 divisions for this. There's your home library, which is your preferred library in general. Where do you want to pick up a book if it comes in for you? There's P type, which should be where you're getting taxed, and there's your town code. We don't have town codes for all the towns. I think we have Milan, and I think we might have Gallatin, but like, we don't have Elizaville. And then we also don't have from them,
There's-
nothing for
there's-
Ancrumdale.
This must be solvable. Like,
I think
like
Mid-Hudson has.
It's a
Mid-Hudson
Mid-Hudson problem,
needs
yeah.
to, but we need,
They're working on
we-
it. So
we-
Yeah.
you
at a
know,
broad view, they are working on figuring out a code for each of the untaxed areas or the
Right.
un P type areas so that we can, whatever library that is on the receiving end of this patron can say, well, this is your home library, but you don't pay, so we can't give you Hoopla or we can't give you ebooks or something like that. So
Right.
Yeah.
there will be a stink at some point because people are gonna get
I-
angry about not.
you know,
I love this. I've been
This
fighting for that
actually,
for years, right?
I'm with Ethan on this. There are several areas. I mean, I don't want to go through having to figure out how to become a special district library instead of a municipal. I don't really want to have to do the 414 for 5 different towns and tell them they owe more money, you know, but yeah.
But this could be a viable option to go to the towns and say, listen,
Yeah,
hey, town of Gallatin, 400. of your
Yeah, like,
patrons
yeah,
are from
four-
the library.
yeah, 400 people want to use services that we tax for. and we now
Yeah.
tax a lot for.
And
It is
should the
tricky.
municipality choose not to contribute for whatever reason, that could be billable to the people who are the card holders.
That's what I was thinking.
And
You could
are
have a
we no
membership.
longer the
Yeah.
Pine Plains Free Library then? Are we the Pine Plains sometimes free library?
It's the free asterisk.
I
library.
forget.
But your membership is
Yeah.
free. I do think you also come into problems like Gallatin does spill into Columbia County.
Yes.
And some
Our library was
assets-
Rojan when we were in Gallatin.
Yeah,
Yeah, some assets are not available to non-residents. I know, Columbia County, their museum passes, you have to be a resident of their county.
right.
And so, all right, maybe you are a Pine Plains.
The day I was in
Gallatin.
Wappingers, whatever Wappingers Library is called, I forget. Thank you.
Yeah.
They were giving out the museum passes, and they're like, and you live in Wappingers,
Yeah.
and like it was like
Yeah, some-
they're down to like they only do it for their town people.
Yeah, some of them get extremely
They
granular.
did that well. I was watching, and they were being really bitchy to me for
Mm.
being a visitor. So I was really aware of what they were. Sorry, Grinnell Library.
Yeah, I know, at least Columbia County, they get county money
Yeah.
for their passes, which does make sense. But this is, another way where having these unclear divisions, because a lot of Gallatin residents, even the ones in, Columbia County, have our P type.
Right.
But then we have to, even with the maps, all the ones we have say, oh, they belong to the town of Gallatin. That doesn't help me with P type.
Mm.
But I know they shouldn't
Right,
be
because our
us.
P-type only covers the municipality of Pine Plains.
It
correct?
should, correct.
It should only.
So even though
Uh,
Gallatin, half of Gallatin is a Pine Plains zip code, that's a totally separate thing. It's Columbia County, it's
Yeah.
down,
Yeah. zip
and
code
that's the
doesn't depend.
complicating factor.
We look at that online when there's a doubt, whenever somebody
Yeah,
has, we
like,
just automatically do
You're
that.
tricky because you're Claremont, but your address is Red Hook.
Uh-huh,
And
Yeah,
your
we have
school-
a
And your
little-
school is Pine Plains.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I'm not taxed for any libraries, but yet a friend of mine who lives in other.
Well, That's
another-
gonna stop pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Shoot. But another friend of mine lives in another part of Claremont, pays taxes to Tivoli and Red Hook libraries. So she's taxed twice. So that's a problem
So
too.
this is the first
Okay.
step to mid.
So we're
Yes.
all
Starting
just
to
straighten
fit this
straighten
issue
this
and get
stuff up.
I am all for it.
But can I say how happy I was that I could get on Hoopla while I was in France?
Oh.
Sorry to say that, because I cranked through 3 trashy romance books on the boat
Yay.
that I could only get from Hoopla.
Surprised that you're actually allowed to do that because.
I was too.
Because the
European
rights,
things.
the
yeah.
rights to those books are not European rights.
I
So like, if
was
you were to watch a
surprised.
movie, you could not watch a movie on Netflix in London
Yeah.
on your US subscription.
I think because of the way we log in, it actually tracks me through
Yeah, you are.
somehow you here. I log in and it must have made it look like I was
Yeah,
here.
because it's associated not with the service.
Right.
It's associated with
The library.
the library card.
Yeah.
So in order for you to have a Pine Plains library card, you gotta live here. You can't be French.
Yeah.
Or at least that's the idea.
Right.
And
Well,
we do
all
now
of us.
have our online cards are now automatically set to be expired. So you can't be someone who lives in Michigan and you make a library card in Pine Plains and you use it.
Because people were doing that.
Yeah, you gotta
Lex
come in.
System wide, that was.
There
Yeah.
was that kid too that was doing it. I remember.
Oh, yeah, well, that was.
Yeah.
that was
Well,
fun.
I
You
see
can
it-
actually do it pretty easily if you get a VPN, which is like a virtual private server for your, because we do that since my husband travels all the time all around the world. And so
Mhm.
then it can be hooked to whatever your home network is. And no matter where you are in the world, you can access those. So there's definitely ways to get around it. But
Get
it's
around it.
interesting that
Yeah.
like Hoopla doesn't really take that into account.
I mean, but every time I log into Hoopla, and it goes, chug, 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 you're using this because of Pine Plains
Yeah.
Right,
Library.
it's not basing it on your
yeah.
your IP network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yet one more reason why we like Hoopla. Kind of. It's a little clunky, but
So any other questions on programming or Statistics,
Going great guns.
we are going great guns.
It's great.
Deanne, I
What's
have a
the-
question for you. I think that both the Lenora and Elena contacted you about coming to a planning meeting to hopefully revive Community Day. And that
Tomorrow night?
meeting is tomorrow evening. Yeah,
Yeah, I've got it on the calendar. I'm gonna be
thank
there.
you. Thank you.
Is the mid
What was that?
library?
Today's coming back.
The Community Day, beautification, is it the beautification? No,
Community Day.
Community Day Committee.
The,
They're trying to
The
reformat
beautification-
it.
the beautification committee has expressed their desire to revive Community Day. So they're developing an ad hoc Community Day committee that may
Okay.
be comprised of some beautification committee members and other people
Mhm.
in town.
So I'll be going to that tomorrow night at 7 o'clock.
Awesome. It's exciting.
Thank you.
You were
Yes.
asking a question, Ethan?
In my own,
Okay.
I'm good.
You're good.
I answered
Okay.
it.
I did have one thing, Annie reminded me, there have been First Amendment groups going around to the various libraries recording and asking to see the First Amendment and generally, just filming. And
They
we've all,
want to see the First
The
Amendment?
Constitution,
They
that we
wanna
have a
see the-
copy
Oh.
of
yeah, they're
it.
called the First Amendment groups, but the Constitution, the amendments.
all
things
the
like
Got that handy?
We sure
Have
do.
you?
Good.
Yeah.
We've got two copies.
warned.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they are going around to the different libraries. They've been to Millerton. I think they were at,
You have to show them the Constitution.
you have to show them, they want to film where you have it and that,
That
Where
it's
your program-
available.
yeah,
And where do you have it?
it's in our nonfiction section.
They're just members of the public,
Mm-hmm.
making sure they can film and they don't get disturbed. by
Yeah,
in
it's-
that right. That
We've made
that
a
was said numerous times.
we have a special section now, so we've got the adult
Okay.
nonfiction. And right at the very front of it, we have our reference section for specifically US documents.
Great.
So we can, any member of staff.
But
can
it's their
bring them.
reference, so they can be used here,
Yeah,
not borrowed.
I have one that's specifically in library use only, but I thought folks, if they're interested in the amendments, they might want to take one copy home to view and bring back.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I do have,
We'll have a
But
couple
there's
copies.
one that-
there's
yeah,
one that will
yeah,
always be here,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Um,
Good
Yeah, and
to-
staff
It's
has
good to have that stuff out there.
but staff have been trained and warned about what's going on in case that happens, so.
And I
that's-
don't love that they want to do that. Not out of freedom of, whatever, but they're coming in and filming people who don't necessarily want to be filmed and don't necessarily want to be on camera. So,
We're a library with many
Okay.
children.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, not a fan of that.
Who are these people?
We call them, First Amendment people. They're
Are they
Auditors.
Yeah.
that's what they
Automatic-
call themselves.
auditors.
are
They're-
are they residents of Pine Plains?
No.
Yeah.
Not.
I got distracted for a second. Could you go back? I'm kind of an amateur follower of a lot of First Amendment auditors. What's the issue
What
that
did
you're
you give me
facing?
for my birthday, Patrick?
Well,
A
they're,
copy of the Constitution. Should have
Oh,
in
did
my-
I?
Yes, you
did.
did. In case anyone wants to, can't find it here, you can come to my house.
Or if you forget.
there are some
So-
auditors who are going around to local libraries filming while they go up and ask if they have copies of the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights and Declaration of Independence, those kind of documents. And they're not always polite.
Right.
And, they're filming, which, a lot of patrons don't appreciate. So, but we have our copies in hand, we have our copies, and we've talked about it as a staff team about what to do should they come into the library.
And do you have the police department's phone number available readily?
Yeah, we're
There's
called
phones.
911.
Great.
So
So,
Do we know?
Why would you call 911?
some of them, from other libraries, some patrons have become aggressive in not appreciating what's going on. And, some of the people who've been filming have combative.
This is
And
so weird.
I believe provocative. And we've, the libraries that have responded
Era
to
that
this
we're going
in
through
a
right now.
conciliatory manner have, made it's stopped the, aggressiveness.
Right.
from happening.
Can't we,
So
can't we
here's
have a
here's my
policy where there's no videotaping in the library?
This is a
no.
public
I
space.
don't. It's a public place. So here's the little bit that I know. This is not legal advice. This is like too much TikTok advice. But I do follow this pretty closely. You know, and I think one of the things these auditors are trying to do is they're trying to make money by getting people to react a certain way. They're trying to get especially the police to react in a certain way
So they can see
that will violate their constitutional rights to film in public. So, and then they get a lawsuit. So we don't want to be involved in any of that. What we want to do is understand that people do have a right to film in public. They have a right to film children in public. You don't have any reasonable expectation of privacy when you're in a public place. Deanne's office is not a public place. The library lobby, and I believe even maybe the entire ground floor of the library, other than a closed room, is a public place. Look at Ethan nodding his head like I know what I'm talking about. So I think my advice is, you don't want to call 911 unless there's really an emergency. You want to, if you don't want to be on camera, then you need to, remove yourself from a public place, go into a private room, wait for it to be over. And what else can I say? And that's kind of it.
Do all the children
We-
into your
We
room.
use our Second Amendment rights and pull out a gun.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
No, I will be
you're
offering
right,
them,
I you're-
I will
Sorry.
be offering them library cards.
But I
and
mean,
sign
like,
them up
what's
for
the
the program.
difference? I mean,
So just
What's
some,
your P tag?
just some context, there are many people who have been around for years doing this. And they started with police departments, then they went to town halls, and now it's filtered to libraries. They only post, Patrick's exactly right, they only post what is,
Controversial.
yes,
kind of
has some type of contention.
Yes.
The point locally is there's a gentleman from the Bronx who came and did this at every town hall in Dutchess and Columbia County. The one that he posted was Ankrum because Art Basson was kind of an ass to him. And the one that he didn't post was Pine Plains because Brian didn't care that he was filming. So
Brian who? Our current supervisor?
yes.
Wow, good for him. Good for him.
So the ones that it's where there's conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah, we, that's our plan, is that is our, policy, is to not react.
engage.
Yeah, not to engage in that manner, so.
And we did have word from another library in the system who did have an auditor come in, and they said they were very professional and kind to him. And he didn't film anybody. Once they directed him to where he needed to go, he took his video and he left, and I can't find any trace of that video online.
Took him 5 minutes,
So,
so, yeah.
Great.
So that's what that's our policy.
patrons,
Yeah.
we'll make them comfy.
And it's one of your points of training.
Here's a cup of coffee.
It's one of your points of training, de-escalation techniques for patrons who may be upset that somebody is filming and explaining to them that this is a public place, and
Yeah.
explaining all that. That is a very hard position for you and your staff to be in. So is that where you're saying you may have to get the police involved because?
Well, I am like, they are to come to me, or they are to, if I'm not here, they're to go to Annie, like, if there's a problem. So we will have to de-escalate it.
That's a good idea.
But the problem is like, if someone's sitting here and they come in and they are making a loud verbal request.
Yeah, I would say we do have on our website a policy of patron behavior. That includes not being disruptive and that you're using family-friendly language. So if someone does become irate and perhaps loud about it, that's a general policy, and we can ask
Mhm.
them either to moderate their behavior or perhaps head outside for a bit, cool down, and we'll try again. I think that's something we don't have experience with.
Is that one of the policies that we ran through us?
think that was.
Because
That's
you
from Alexis.
That's predated.
Yeah, I
Then we
checked on
should
the
probably
website.
run that back through us. I wasn't here for that, but
Yeah.
like it needs to get put on. We need to get to the bottom of the list and get to the top of the
Yeah, we
list.
have a long,
So, yeah.
long list of policies. Uh,
Okay,
And that's the other thing with, that brings to mind, I had emailed y'all about the, some of the policies that we need to do for next year, but, we will at some point need to have all of our policies online by 2027.
yes.
But we're
We-
working towards that anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, anything else? Motion to approve the director's report.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Aye. Thank you. Okay, so where are we? Oh, committees. Anything more facilities?
I do
We
have
talked about
facilities.
the door,
I do have for insurance, I do have just one little thing for
Okay.
facilities. When you have that. Are you ready for that?
yeah.
Okay, I have started the process of auditing, kind of, I guess you'd call it auditing, our insurance policies with Emery and Webb, and, we're in the beginning stages, so I'll let y'all know whenever we get more.
So I'm assuming will have they'll say you, for this kind of organization, you need X, Y, and Z.
Yes, well, for this kind of programming or like the things that I mentioned were the library of things. And I said, oh, we have knitting needles to, like we're talking about
Hammers.
getting some power washers. And they were like, oh, don't do power washers. Don't do anything power because you're inviting a lawsuit. So anyway, but we haven't done that yet. So we just have knitting needles and traffic cones. But
Knitting needles can be weapons.
I know, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, where my mind went.
They're liabilities. But we've started the process of explaining to them what we are doing now, what we hope to do, and what kind of coverage we need. And
Be interesting to talk to the other libraries of libraries.
Walkie-talkies.
Hmm?
Walkie-talkies.
That's a good one.
I have 3 questions on
Walkie-talkies,
facilities.
don't you just
Okay.
make them out of a paper copy?
Claire has been bringing up the
can.
gutters for years.
Yeah.
If the
Actually,
gutters,
Sandy brought that to my attention. Her husband was
Oh.
working on the roof next door and looked
he saw it.
across and saw how awful the gutters are. So this is
yeah. Trees.
the north side roof line gutters, Janine, just so you
Well,
know
when
exactly
you
what we're
say,
talking
when you
about.
say the gutters are awful, what's wrong?
They've
Are
been
they
clogged.
loaded with
They
stuff?
have
Are
not
they?
been,
Stuff's growing out of them.
there's like small bushes are starting to grow.
Oh, so the gutters need to be cleaned out. They're not falling off or anything.
For like 5 years, they've needed to be cleaned out,
Okay.
at least.
So
I just
that's-
made up that number.
if that's something the town maintenance can do, or if it can get something to bring up for a future. Also power washing the fence. I think the town got Brandon to do the building, and the building looks good. But now the fence needs it too. That's something else. Gary just asked,
Okay.
and on my list was if there's a timeline for the driveway fix. I know Carl had discussed with a couple of different people about getting rid of our barrel.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Is there a timeline for that? And if you don't know, could you find out?
No, I don't know. And yes, I will ask that question.
I was here.
Thank you. Yeah, and Bobby Koch was here. He had a few people here.
Yeah.
He did do. That's it.
Okay. Anything else? Yeah. Yeah.
On facilities,
Okay. Okay. I did see in the minutes for last month that we asked about the documents again. They were found that we think we need. I need to get back to the bank's website to.
Or the incorporation document.
Yeah, we found something that we think is enough, so I will start working on that.
Where'd you find it?
In the filing cabinet?
Way in the back.
Could you shoot it?
But we did share them with town hall so that they have a copy of.
We
Could
did.
you-
Yes, yes.
We did.
Could you
That was-
scan it and send it around? I mean,
Yeah,
something
we did.
are
We did.
to me?
Oh, I will send it to the rest of y'all.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Marketing?
No, but I have fundraising.
Okay, fundraising.
I wrote a letter. Well, I
Okay.
can't take full credit for it. I did have Claude help me write this letter. So Claude is it's like ChatGPT. but it's
Oh, okay. Okay.
it's I find it more human. Anyway, so I'm happy to, I think everyone has a copy of it. So
When did you
Half-
send it?
uh
Yeah, it's
actually, I don't think you have it. I think you just have the physical copy. But we can
Oh, yeah.
send out
Oh, okay.
I think I
Patrick
did.
and you send it to Patrick and Allison, but I don't know if you send it to everybody else.
Oh, you're right. Maybe. I
So
didn't.
anyway, the idea is that I've sort of abandoned the envelope idea. So this was a letter that we could send out for our fundraising. Happy to make any changes. I just put in $50,000. I think we had 60 in our budget, but I threw out 50. And we would need to change the website to PayPal. This does link to the PayPal site, this QR code, but we don't have a $25 donation button on there. So
Gary, can you
Yes.
just change my last name?
yes,
To Court. It's my legal.
CORT or D.
CORT.
T, okay.
Mhm.
And then I also changed, I made Patrick the secretary. And made Ethan not the secretary.
That's also,
And then I put Ted down as officer because I wasn't sure. I asked my friends at Google what I should call him, and I decided on officer. He's not actually a board member. And then Deanne is listed to sign the email. That's how she's listed.
Are you gonna send us on a card like a?
So I was gonna send it to Minuteman, have them print it in color with the color logo. This would be
Mhm.
in the color and this would be in gray. And then they would print it out on paper. And then have them do the EDDM.
to fold it and put it into an
Fold it and
envelope.
Put it in the envelopes.
Because what Ted did did y'all see what they did for the food bank was just to send a
Yeah, I don't-
card. Doc.
I personally think it should go in an envelope. I think it seems a little bit more formal, but we could do the card if everyone wants to do the card.
And
I
as
would also suggest the letter. I think they tend to be opened and looked at more often than just a card, which, I mean, when I get them, I honestly just throw them in the recycling. So I would vote for
Yeah,
a letter.
I got a letter in an envelope from Fossil. It was nice.
I have a question that is going to involve an answer from Ted. Since we got the 414, I keep having this nagging feeling that our fundraising maybe should be geared towards something specific, like capital expense. And I was between calls the past 3 days. I was thinking that we have this really good plan about, or potential plan from Paul Mays about interior renovations. So I wonder how everybody feels about maybe gearing this as our first post 414 fundraiser letter, specifying that it be a capital campaign expense, but keep the language a little bit vague. Say that we're fundraising for potential renovations in the future.
Do you want me to add that as a bullet or do you want me to change? So there are some websites where they talk about library fundraising and like what you should do. And Ethan is correct. They do say you should say specifically what you're fundraising for, a new children's room, under circulation desk. I wasn't quite sure how we wanted to couch that. So I didn't do that. And that's why I went with these bullets instead. But we certainly can change it or add it. So whatever everybody thinks, I don't really doesn't really
I-
matter to me.
I think that if you add it as one of the possibilities, that would be good. But if you say this is our, like, we're doing it for renovations or for a capital purpose, then you get locked into it's now a restricted fund and you cannot use it for anything else.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so I'll
I was
add it
actually
at
gonna say that.
so do we want to say how do we want to frame this physical improvement?
I
Do we
have one
want to
more.
say-
May
Sorry,
I,
go on.
may I add a thought? I do like Ethan's idea a lot that, specifying use. I wonder though, considering our whole relationship with the building and our relationship with the town and the building, I'd be concerned about overly and I agree with Allison as well. If we say we're going to use it for X, if we said we're only going to use it
You got
for
it.
capital improvements of the building, then we're stuck with that. And I wonder if we'll get some no ways, or we'll get some, wait, you don't even own that building. So I'm leaning towards adding a bullet point as opposed to uh, or finding
Specifics.
another program. Like if we were to say, I mean, money is fungible, right? So I'm just thinking out loud, if we said, we're trying to raise $50,000 solely for the purpose of children's programming, well, then our budget for children, and we get it, then our budget for children's programming can get moved, can't it? Is Ted
Yeah.
saying yes or no?
Yes.
So I don't know. Those are only my thoughts. I'd be happy to hear any replies.
I 100% agree with you, is that if we are saying we're raising money for kids program, using that example, we then don't have to we can put $0 of the other money into kids programming if we raise enough money. That is the way people fundraise.
And we have some really
So-
good statistics with Kids Club.
Yeah.
We can cite that all day long.
Yeah, so yeah, I think we lean heavy into the kids programming.
Okay, so do you think though so just devil's advocate here on the kids programming, is for someone who doesn't have kids or doesn't have grandkids in this area, are they gonna be like, well, I don't, I don't have kids, I don't care about the kids, I'm not really interested in funding this campaign, whereas they might be more interested in digital books? If we lean heavily into, and again, I'm not dying on this hill, I don't actually really care, but I just wonder if we lean too heavily into one thing, that then someone's like, well, why do they need a new circulation desk? Why do they need a new, like why do they need more kids program? I'm there all the time. I'm there all the time, and they've got 20 kids in there every Saturday, and it's annoying. I'd rather them buy new books. So I'm not donating so they have more kids in here.
And I think the 5 bullet points you have here are very, they're very,
Right.
very varied, if that makes sense. I feel like it covers kind of every little aspect. So we have like the physical book and audiobook and digital resources. You mentioned the thing about kids programming. Building maintenance is on here, to kind of cover that if there is wiggle room with that somehow, you know what I mean? So I feel like these touch on kind of everything that we would want to look at, right?
Right, but I think I'm hearing two different things. I'm hearing, do we want to specify one or two items? Kiri, I totally get what you're saying. Maybe a happy medium is to say something like, and I'm not wordsmithing, but we're seeking to raise $50,000 for the purpose of A, our children's programming, and B, improving our ebooks. But I think Ethan's whole point was that these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullet points might be too much and too vague.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think
So-
you wouldn't
I
want to
do-
say these are the items we're raising money for. I think you just want to phrase it in a way that doesn't restrict it, because so if it says we're raising $50,000 for these 2 programs, then you're kind of limiting yourself. Technically, the IRS would view those as restricted for that use. So if you kind of phrase it, the opening part saying, here's just a couple of the things we will be using this money for, I think being able to
Mm.
make it specific, but also not narrowing yourself down. If you raise $50,000 and you're talking about just kids programs, now you have to use that money for kids programs.
Well, forgive me for wordsmithing it when I said I just wasn't going to, but lawyers use this phrase all the time, including but not limited to, colon.
Exactly.
Well, I know, I was thinking your donations will directly support, you know, I'm not gonna use the word things, but things like, or such as, or something
Yeah,
like.
absolutely.
My bigger concern is the spelling of my last name.
Did I spell it?
There's a lot of.
What did I do? Oh, I added an extra
Marari?
R. It's so tiny on here.
Marari?
Sorry about that.
My first name has 2 L's too.
Who else? I also thought about that as well when I was
And
doing it.
is Ted's last name misspelled, or have I always been misspelling
God.
it?
So
It's misspelled too?
It is misspelled too.
Okay,
I have,
fine.
I have
I mean, it's not fine.
I
I have a
was actually
Canva.
gonna ask.
I have a Canva that's set up with all these names on there. We can add it on there, and it's got everybody's name, and it's got a border on the right, and we can change it up. So you can use the border that I have.
So my question for Ted with relation to the
I already fixed
conversation
that one.
about potentially renovating the library. Could money be put into the lodge account and start to collect money? You're saying no.
I don't think
Don't
I,
want
To use what's there.
You don't want to put money into it. You want to take money out of it.
Okay.
Don't you have a capital fund anyway?
yeah, we've got a lot of accounts, yeah.
There's money.
The lodge money is specific.
No, I know
Yeah,
that,
so,
but
yeah.
I'm saying I always thought there was a capital,
Yeah, and
an
we're,
account
Yeah.
for capital
that we
improvements.
park money in, that doesn't make a whole lot, but yeah.
Because my thought
We're working
process
on
was
that.
if this letter was specific and we had those funds that had to be allocated, they would have to be in a specific account. But that's,
And the grants are specific, asking for specific things. And sometimes this is, you hope to get a lot of money for fundraising, but to use it wherever
Yeah,
you need to.
Yeah.
Some grants are-
Sometimes the small fundraiser, you can say it's for X, a raffle or
A
something.
lot of donations come in specifically for, wherever you need. I love those. I love those.
well, that's why this fundraising letter is so awesome, because the past couple of years that we've done it, we have gotten $18,000, whatever it ends up being. It's not an insignificant amount that we get. I personally, now that our budget has been subsidized appropriately by the town residents, I'd like to start seeing personally that we put some of the fundraising money towards a bigger picture project.
Is it possible for us to write notes on these letters for who they're going to, or are they just going to get kind of mass distributed?
So if we fold them ourselves, then I guess we can write the notes on them ourselves, and then we can drop them off for the EDM ourselves. Which
Okay.
usually
I feel
well.
like that might be worth it, and I'm happy to volunteer to help with that, because I know that every nonprofit I've worked for, they make it a point to make sure that every letter gets a personal note, just to, when you open it up, not feel like it's so generic.
So
I know
Allison, do you mean like you'd write, hi, hey Curie, so great seeing you in the library last week. I hope you'll be able to contribute to our fundraising, or do you mean that you would just write a generic note? Because
Just
I
a
think
generic. We
okay.
could do either. I would say, so we just did a massive fundraiser we mailed out like 600 packets for work, and we went through the mailing list, and everybody picked like 20 different individuals on the list to write a hand note, like more specific. But then on the other 50 that were assigned to me, we just wrote, we hope we can like count on your support, or just something very generic. So, but just something kind of handwritten I think it would be a nice touch if it's easy. If it's not, then I know we don't have probably a lot of time.
I would also volunteer to plow through a whole bunch of those. I missed the beginning part of this though. This I think when we did this last year, didn't we do it two different ways? Didn't we send out a mailer that we had no control over, and then we also sent out some individual letters?
We did an
And
ATM card.
and so, and this year, or is it the intention that these letters would we have the opportunity to interfere with this mailing and personalize it?
Well, I was gonna ask that question because I don't know, like, for the EDDM, it just goes to resident, Pine Plains 92
Right.
Town Road, right? But does Red Hook also have the actual mailing lists? I mean, does Minuteman actually have the mailing list? I'm looking at you if you know the answer.
They're not, they did not, they do not put an individual's name on the card.
So I guess what we could do is we could send out the EDDM, right? Generic, or with a generic note on it, and we stuff them ourselves. And then we could do, special little cards or something that we send to our previous donors, or people that we know or we have addresses for that we think might be donors. So.
I know, my only 2 cents is whatever we do, I was hoping that we expanded it this year to include Ancrumdale,
We can do that with
Red
that.
Hook, yeah. The Red Hook mailing addresses that are on this, in my.
Well, that's why I said library neighbor as opposed to saying Pine.
Yeah, I know,
Plains resident.
that's
So.
perfect.
So with the EDDM, I guess we could pick us.
You can pick, but yeah, you.
Yeah,
buy
like we
routes.
could, yeah. So if, if we want to look at what's available and pick a couple of those additional groups.
My thought would be do Ancrumdale, because that's 2 or 3 routes, including their post office boxes, and Red Hook, the one
Right.
that covers
It-
Milan and like where Deanne lives in Claremont.
Mhm.
And then the ones that are Stanford, I wouldn't say by Stanfordville. I already have labels for Hicks Hill Road and Skunks Misery and whatnot, so we just do that by hand.
Right, so we should make like an additional, 100 or?
We can look on the
Yes.
post office site, you can select.
Okay.
So like, we can select these different,
Oh,
see, where we want to send it.
Okay.
We can actually choose it.
okay.
This would also include like some of those areas we were talking about before where they don't have their own library, like.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we might go a little too wide or, which I don't think it matters.
But will someone in Gallatin like care, if they get a fundraiser from Pine Plains Free Library?
I'd like to point out that some of our largest donations this year have been people that do not live in Pine Plains. So, and those have not been personalized letters. We just got $1,000 one from people. I have no idea who they are. The only reason I tracked them down was because they sent it through whatever their lawyer, their financial group.
Yeah.
But I tracked them through the tax record. They live way up by Lake Taconic. I have no idea how they're affiliated, like why they chose us or if they have connections.
Thank you for that address.
So,
Mhm. Oh, yeah, that little, I gave him a copy.
Okay, okay. Yes, yes, I think, so when we put the print and EDDM, the problem with the stuff is if we're stuffing and we're scribbling on them, I'm just being, coy. I think that's great. If that's what we want to do, it's easier to have someone, trifold a piece of paper and stuff it into an envelope, for us or not. I don't care.
We could get the papers, do the papers, and then send them back to the printers, and they have a folding machine that.
Oh,
will
okay.
Stuff it, so we can probably.
Okay, so
that
they,
way.
so with
that-
generic notes.
Those would be the generic. that
So we
be
would
the-
have to, we'd have to pick a date and
Send
time.
this to everybody and we send personalized, just little postcards to the individuals who have donated previously. People that we know that we would like to reach out to that we think would donate, and they'll get hit twice.
So I could make up a postcard. I could make up a postcard that has a QR code on it and has our website and logo on it. And then the rest is blank, and then we could write a note. So why don't I do that? And then can we just, I just want to understand what next steps are on these, on the bullet points, because I'm not clear on where do we want to, do you want me to add something? Do you want me to change them? What do we think here?
I have a pet peeve, and it is that we should be paying for our books from our normal budget, that we're not asking for people to buy. That's my pet
Okay, I
peeve.
can take that off.
That's, you know, your donations directly support these things. We spend all, we're a library, we buy books,
Right, like
that's
maybe this
kind
can
of-
focus on the kind of
yeah.
above and beyond things we do. Like the
Exactly,
programming
yeah,
and the,
so-
like extended hours. Things like that. That
Um,
makes sense. So it kind of
yeah.
consolidates the list a little bit, makes it shorter, maybe more targeted, but still like broad enough where we don't have to pigeonhole ourselves.
Yes,
That makes sense.
That
Yes.
bullet's now gone.
okay.
And are we leaving it at 50,000?
I like that
Yeah, I
number.
think we originally budgeted 55 or something like
I didn't
that.
want to go too high since
Yeah.
we just had the 414
Yeah,
vote,
no, I
and like, because it's just a number, like it doesn't,
Yeah.
I mean.
Um,
No, after our conversation on Friday.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I took off the
yeah.
I took off the first bullet.
Should we change it to say 25, 100, or 1,000 just to encourage some of those larger numbers?
I'm happy to
I feel like we don't want to
limit ourselves.
limit ourselves.
So 25, 100, or 1,000.
Yeah, or more makes, I think that would be
I like that.
a wider range that might encourage some larger donations.
Okay, and
Right.
then we just need to make sure that we have the correct buttons on the PayPal site.
Okay.
You can always put in other, but do you want a comma in the 1,000 or no comma in the 1,000?
You can do a comma in 1,000. And will the QR code go to, what does that go to? Does that go to the
It goes to the
libraries?
PayPal site. It goes to the library PayPal site.
Okay.
And is our 501c3 listed there, or?
Whatever, however Deanne
Okay.
has it set up. That's the link.
Not touch PayPal. It's
So we can change it. We
Um,
can change it, but the QR code I created is the link is from our Pine Plains website's link to the PayPal site.
I just want to look
I-
at it.
Only comment on that is to make sure that if someone scans this to donate, if it clearly lists the mailing address. So if they don't want to use PayPal, then they can, I guess it's on the piece of paper
And I
anyway.
are doing the same thing right now.
Yeah, the PO box needs to be the return mailing address because mail does not come here. They will trash.
Yeah, I put the PO box on the bottom.
Yeah, it's on the
Yes,
bottom.
good. Thank you.
So it's the help support the library page.
It goes here.
I just zoomed it and or I just photoed it and it says Pine Plains Free Library, donate one time monthly or yearly, and the options are 50, 100, 500, or other. Add
Yeah.
blank to help cover these fees, and I'm going to stop talking now.
No, that's okay. We do have the 501c3 and we need to make sure people can easily tell that I used to have to go through my mother's checking, statements and verify that things were tax deductible. So, like it has to say it somewhere.
So I have a question, is PayPal the best service to use for collecting donations? Perhaps we should be using, like, when you donate to the Republicans or the Democrats, it's an actual like donations page that you're going to. So
PayPal's
My
easy,
only
they cut.
But I was gonna say, my only thought is that if the QR code goes to a general donation page and then it says mail a check, donate, or drop one off at the library, donate via PayPal with this link, because I think the larger amounts that we could potentially get from
They're gonna
people,
want to
they're
send a
not going to
check.
use they're not going to use PayPal, and they're not going to write their check. They're going to send it to, whoever's managing like their donor advised funds. Like, so I think that is, I mean, when we do our mailings, obviously we're not just in Pine Plains, but I'd say 90%
Yeah.
of them come from a check and not from their personal check. It's from an
Right.
organization.
I think that was, yeah. So the page on our website, it's called Help Support the Library. And it talks about fiscal donations and then goes on to say donate items and volunteer. Should we be having a page that's just for donating, like just for cash donations?
Like pulled up.
Yeah, I'm asking Allison this
Yeah.
specifically because this
Well,
is your business.
Yeah, no, I think I'll let me take a look at that page on the website and see
Okay.
Right.
what it says, and then I can give
And
you a
if
little
you
bit more
can figure
feedback.
out how to do it differently, we can always,
Okay.
I know adding a different page or changing something structurally gets its own problems, but we want to do it right.
Yeah. No, I think as long as I would just say don't have that QR code go directly to PayPal, because I think
Okay.
you might lose some people who don't want to use PayPal.
Well, it's a PayPal, it's a Pine Plains branded PayPal page. Just,
Okay.
Right.
but I'm happy to send it to a
Yeah, I
preliminary
can.
page as well.
Okay. Yeah, I can take a look and
Okay, just let me know and I can remake the QR code easily.
okay.
So we're talking about making a special fundraising page on the website as a landing page
Where it has all the
Maybe,
for
yeah.
this
Yeah.
for this fundraising drive. So
Yeah.
we need a landing page on our website
Yeah.
for this fundraising drive that will also direct people to PayPal or give them our mailing address or whatever.
And then,
So
and
Deanne,
Allison,
can you track pages on the website? So could you then track how many people visit that specific page on the website? Because it might give us an idea of kind of, was this worth it? Are we getting, where are these donations coming from?
Google
I can
Analytics.
try to add a tag to that, I believe. I've not done that before, but
Okay.
we get Google Analytics. They're not very good, but I can try
Yeah.
to get something.
The other question, Allison, that is this current page says it says our EIN number is X, Y, and Z, but it's not saying explicitly the 501c3. Like, should we do that? Should we say
Well,
it's
we
tax
have
deductible?
to send an acknowledgement letter. Any donation that comes in, we send acknowledgement letters, correct?
We send thank you notes and or above a certain amount, it gets
Tax receipt?
yeah, like a tax receipt.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
$250, I think is the one that triggers the specific language for
Okay.
for
Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, you can, as long as our EIN is on there, I think that's good.
Okay, so just to recap, you're gonna make a special page which outlines all of the different options, including the specific numbers, et cetera, that need to be on their EIN numbers or whatever.
Mhm.
You will then provide that link to me at some point and I will create a new QR code and do this.
we will, and I may have to work with John yeah, we're gonna have to work with John.
I mean, I don't, it doesn't sound too, Ethan's gone to sleep. It doesn't sound too complicated to me, as long as you know what you want to have on the page and
Right, and
Mhm.
Allison, you can get to
Yeah.
this
being
quickly.
optimistic.
ish.
Yeah.
No, we're fine. It's not us, it's John.
We can make it work.
We'll make it work.
Okay.
We will make it work.
And do we want to, I mean, just on the website, do you want to call it our
Yes.
like annual appeal?
We
Yes.
could do that.
Yeah, maybe have another page that gets added on. Yeah. Okay. But other than that, the changes we made to the text, I think are good. That and spelling,
I think this is great. Mine's fixed.
Okay, and where was I?
Old business. New business, which you have.
Old business? Yes, we're kicking policy review down the road.
Yeah, we're
the,
still
the
working.
new year, so, old business?
We
Can you,
need to do director,
yes, we
you-
do need to do that.
I
agree.
are we going to reuse that data? No, or do we want to create a new one?
I never saw what Beth sent out. I don't know whether it landed in an inbox that I don't
I'll
have
pull up
access
what I
to.
sent
yes.
and and
Okay.
maybe I'll send that and the best of all worlds. It's also November. We have to do nominations tonight.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
I'm sorry, could you go back? Ethan, I didn't hear the first thing that you said, the first
We
topic.
need to do a review of the director. We haven't done it since Deanne's been here, so.
As well as board self-evaluation, so.
Oh.
I'll work
We
on
need to
that.
evaluate ourselves.
We should.
Oh,
It's a best
okay.
practice. So I'll work on that for the next meeting and hopefully we can have it done by January.
That Claire. So nominations, we have to do the nominations tonight?
Claire's turning red. She's like,
I'm sorry, what does that mean?
So our bylaws state that executive board nominations have to be done in November for us to vote on the executive board positions in December.
Okay.
We also have to consider that two of our trustees are at the end of their term and need to re-up with the town. So we're gonna have to vote, no, it's me and Claire. So we're going to have to,
So I could be like, I'm out.
oh, you're going into your second term though.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to.
And then you and Patrick are expiring next year?
Yeah, I
Is
think
that
so.
correct?
So we're gonna have to vote as a board whether we want Claire and me to remain. And Claire and I are gonna have to figure out if we want to remain. And then we'll have to present that to the town board in whenever, December, January.
Okay, could we break those out, please? That was a lot of info. But
That was
really,
a lot of info.
really helpful. I think the first thing that I heard is that we need at this meeting to nominate, is it officers for next?
Yes.
Okay, I will make a motion that the board nominate the current officers for the same positions for the next fiscal year. Should we have a discussion about that, or can I make that motion?
I would just spell out who those are.
Claire Gunning, President, Kiri Hannon, Vice President, Patrick McMurray, Secretary.
And Ted
And Ted.
Malazzi,
And Ted as
financial
our
officer.
financial guy.
That's the official title.
Treasurer. Is that what he actually is?
I think he's the financial officer,
Financial
actually.
officer, okay.
Yeah.
That too?
Is that correct, Ted?
It is.
Okay.
Financial
Money
officer
bags.
and treasurer.
I'm sorry, wait, what, Ted?
You're both.
Pardon?
Financial officer and treasurer, is that what he said?
Right, it's a dual position.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, isn't the official language is something like board appointed financial officer? Because that's why he doesn't have to have the term limits. Or am I misremembering that?
No, you're right,
But he is.
Okay.
There is
board
no
of-
term limit.
but he gets reappointed annually.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Um,
you.
can we have a second on that motion?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Allison. And then all in favor?
Aye.
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 Do we, and then
It-
you're saying you and I need to be renominated?
At next month's meeting, we're going to have to vote for officers, but we're also going to have to vote as a board for our terms.
Okay,
If we choose
be
to continue to
continued.
serve,
Okay,
and then that will be presented,
So-
should we be voted on to the town.
shortly after, okay.
Does anybody
how
have
it's
a
supposed to
6-year
work.
limit?
There are 2 3-year terms. So Claire and I are at the end of our first 3-year term, come December. So it's a reappointment.
It only
should
feels
we
like
choose to continue.
15 years.
And nobody will have completed 6 years.
No,
No, Carrie and Patrick, 6 years is next year.
and now it's gonna be a whole nother kettle of fish. The town board is the 18th, is it still, oh, Janine's stepped away. So we could have the board meeting on the 16th and then the town board meeting. Sorry, did I catch you eating dinner?
No, that's, okay. I haven't done that yet. All right, so what is your question about the town board? I was just
Next-
getting something.
This December's town board meeting is still the 18th,
Yes,
verifying, okay.
Yep.
Okay, so if we vote on people, we can present it at that meeting?
Yes.
Okay, that's
Okay.
before the reorg meeting.
yeah,
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Okay, so is that all the new business, old business?
I have one
Okay, one more thing.
thing. Can we send an email to Rebecca Aldrich Smith and ask her to attend a board meeting, either January, February, or March? Pick a different meeting and send an email to one of the Dutchess County Mid-Hudson Library Systems trustees to come to a board meeting. And I'd like to have Chris Drago at a board meeting. Just to come and visit. Powwow, January, February, and March are our slowest months.
Just make sure we're buttoned up. If tonight is any indication of how these things go, I think we could do better.
I'm bringing a box of wine.
Even Ted is left. Ted is left, and Janine is left. See? Who knows if Patrick's even there? Allison's just a phone.
She could be in Barbados.
Look, I left also.
So,
Don't overthink anything.
so is that something Claire does? Is that something Deanne does?
You want me to do that, or do you want
Sure,
to
do it.
do that? I think,
Yeah.
someone's
Please.
gonna have to remind me because,
I can do it too. I don't
Yeah.
care. I'd like to come and invite them and have them be here.
no, and it's actually something that
We're talking about it
Yeah.
for 2 years.
we've been talking about it for a while.
They really want to, the board.
Yeah, the
Mid-Hudson
board
wants to.
actually
Hoping to
really
get Barry
likes him.
Ramage, but
But
he's
he's-
done in December and he lives right in Milan too.
Yeah,
Whatever, we'll take what we can get.
okay. Okay. Is that all the old and new business?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, boy.